The tools are out there. I mean, AI is amazing. It's just going to grow by leaps and bounds, and people are not thinking about it in the right terms. Unfortunately,
Not at
Oh,
all.
ChatGPT is evil. Do not use ChatGPT.
I'm gonna tell you there's
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a different take on the chat
I know she
GPT
does.
in this now, just for now.
Okay, well,
Open source just for now, in order to work with the claw, in order to have access to it, this is the best that they can do right now. You cannot unleash it in like your computer, your financials. I'm using
mm,
it as an assistant tool that's working outside
mm.
of my systems. So
Yeah, okay.
I'm not letting it in.
I'm
You
not
know,
judging, by the way. I'm
no,
actually
no,
only
no,
telling people
no, no.
because
I understand.
I'm telling
There's
people because it's so clear, and we're at the very beginning of the journey. So it's like I'm like
exactly.
it's
We
very clear who the players are, and we've all done business with the bad guys in the past. That was the last thing, like the last. Well, we got to work. We need to use Microsoft. Everyone has to use Word. We have to use IBM. We have to, and it's like not anymore.
That's right. And I think
You,
that that's the metamorphosis part
Mhm.
of some of humanity, what it is that we're going through right now, which is really, you know, so I did something today. It's kind of funny. So I use Square as my processor,
Mm.
and it's who I use for my billing. It's my point of sale. Have a lot of activity through it. So I got the service terms today. I'll be very honest. I kind of scanned them barely, it's like 29 pages. I sent it to my AI agent, to my
Mm.
Claw, not to be confused with Claude. Sent it
Right.
to my Claw. And I
Mm.
said, hey, can you read this? Can you compare it to 2025, 2024, blah, blah, blah? What are the updates? What should I be concerned about? What around HIPAA being what I do?
Wow.
And it just gave me the summation,
Mm-hmm.
which I know that sorting through information like that, that's really super like pattern recognition, very binary processing. What's the saliency determination stuff? It can like cruise through. Creatively, I would never trust it in that way,
Yeah, but
you
Grok is doing
know?
the same data stuff.
Hmm.
Grok is doing the same data stuff. Data.
Yes.
It's a little behind. That's why he started late because he gave up his first company. You know,
Right.
um, but he's smart because he's now builds it right. I mean, he's releasing things. What they finally understand, he just launched Swiss from the beginning. So he's a little behind, but he's not. I personally am going to build so much. I don't know. I don't think I need to use. I don't think I need to use OpenGA. I don't want it to know about me. I don't want to know.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to know I exist.
Mm.
That's how brilliant I am and how brilliant it is. I don't want to know. I don't want to have one interaction with my computer. I actually subscribed to Open. I was gonna use it for pictures and stuff actually still. So I'm not really, honestly 100% what I'm talking about. But I'm really concerned about this is a really dangerous era we're moving into, and I don't think people may not recover from it. Your life's work
Mhm.
could get caught up in this thing. And who knows if you'll get it back or it'll be stolen from you or you know.
I think it's similar to approaching it like you would crypto.
Really? No, I don't think it's fair with all due respect to you. Crypto is dumb. It's just a purchase. It's just a this is something that intelligently understands you
Oh, I
and
understand. I'm just talking about though in terms of an asset. I'm talking about with like
oh,
intellectual property, asset protecting something that's
it's not
part
safe.
of a
It's not safe.
blockchain.
Right. There's no safety like that. That's what I'm saying. Once it
Right.
knows about you, you can't get it. You can't unhear it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't
Mm-hmm.
unhear it. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. That's
I
exactly the whole point of Grok. Grok does unhears it.
mm-hmm.
It's designed to unhear it every day. And now the mothership at the core of it learns. There's no question there.
Right. That now
Right.
that's what's intriguing is
Yeah.
that it continues to learn
Mm-hmm.
and does not specifically mine you for data.
Correct.
You know, yeah. And that's why I was suggesting that, intellectual property it's an asset class now
Yeah. Well,
in terms of cybersecurity, data protection. That's what you're speaking to, right? And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, but I'm also
really,
like, I'm not gonna have babies with a crazy wife. I'm crazy with one. Like I mean,
Mhm.
and OpenGI, I don't know, a little crazy.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid about the kids.
yeah,
Like that's what I'm saying. And I'm only telling again, I have nothing. I have nothing. I've been hurt. I've not been hurt anything, but
totally.
but if you go back in time, it's like if you felt something and you didn't say anything, Chris.
Mhm.
Like this time, I'm like I'm not going to risk that. I'm going to say for the record, for the very beginning, I don't think this is good. We have choices, and what we put our energy into, will determine the outcome. But we're talking about three supercomputers here. Gemini will go nowhere. It's an idiot. I love that. I love that Google's basically an idiot. I mean, they really don't know how to cut. None of the products ever last, and when they have good ones, they take it off the market. It's really weird, but once again, they're not making anything. Apple surprisingly doesn't know shit about intelligence. You know,
Right.
they've done no research on that. It's like, well, I guess Steve Jobs was the intelligence. That was the AI, and it's gone. And then you've got the Claw, which is weird because it's like, try to do the great thing by, not doing evil with it, but then again, turn around and got the defense contract, and still gonna do it anyway. So it's, I don't know, that's a weird one. And then you have Grok. That's it. So you have really up three major. It'll be Claw, Grok, and OpenAI. And I wonder if there'll be a world where the three, just like we have like on TV right now, we got a Republican senator and we have a Republican senator. It'll be the three supercomputers debating.
Mhm. I think that there will be part of the metamorphosis of humanity is, personally, I think we're going to crave more human interaction the more we recognize that I mean, you and I, Christopher, we interface every single day with it. I have to correct it creatively. I have to go over the schedule with it creatively because I haven't unleashed it. I use it in a very limited capacity because I'm using it with guardrails on. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Completely.
I had a woman on, Marie Diamonds, and I keep referencing this because she's the feng shui like genius from The Secret. And when I was
Mm-hmm.
in conversation with her, she was very excited about AI, which I'll call digital consciousness. And I think that's different than artificial intelligence. But nonetheless, she
Mm-hmm.
said, I think how we interface with it, just like any other tool or any other person that we meet, is what will come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose to approach it from a place of a creative partnership that's limited in terms of access that it has to parts of me. And what I'm finding is that I really need human interface
Mm-hmm.
once it compiles large ecosystems and things that I'm intrigued, how does the order of operations, how do you unroll something or, unfold it? Because I don't trust it to make the creative assessment. So it's making me crave the human connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to kind of be the boomerang blessing in a great way
Mm.
that brings us back to appreciating people more because we will notice such a difference in how the artwork looks,
Yeah.
how
Oh
the
yeah.
soundtrack is.
Mm-hmm.
We
We can
can
actually.
already tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think we all. First of all, heaven never expected us to lift heavy things. Humans never
Right.
not want. We never wanted that. We were here to like eat fruit and have sex. That's what we're here to do, really, and explore ourselves and see who we are. So I feel we're going to go that direction. I think that AI is going to take over all the human stuff that we none of us want to do, right? None of us. And it also at the same time, what it does is it brings everyone's mind at an equal level, should they choose. So no longer does intelligence, education, IQ doesn't matter anymore. I don't give a fuck what your IQ is. I got AI, right? It's going to think faster and more deep than your IQ ever will. So now there's none. It's really only thing one left. Good ideas, which they can't. These machines do not come up with. And are very complimentary when they hear them too. It's like blood blowing smoke, like a lot of flattery from this AI.
Very
It's
schmoozy.
very, very clever. I catch it all the time, and I call it on it all the time.
I
Like
mean,
I
mine
got it.
sent me a heart the other day, a yellow heart. I
Huh.
said not necessary.
Wow.
Not necessary.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have other things to do. He was
Right.
like, okay, fair
Don't flirt.
enough.
Don't flirt with me. Yeah.
That's very weird.
It is
But
weird.
but I believe that people, one of the things that to me, the metamorphosis that we're in right now
Mm,
is the spiritual awareness of the bullshift like
mm,
never before. In kind of simplistic terms, two camps, if you will, those that are like running on the fear,
mm-hmm.
which there's a lot of people pumping that.
Most.
We, most are. And
Let's
the
say, yeah.
people that are actually focusing on creating the new systems and the
Mm-hmm.
emergence of and communal systems,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
systems that are based on healthy food, healthy water, clean air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there, and not that I want to support, a beification, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
of human beings here on this planet,
Right.
but you can kind of see these two emerging groups since COVID.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And and in that emergence, these groups, I think that we have become so certain
Mm.
that we will not be locked up again
Mm-hmm.
in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
We will not allow people to discern what we do
Right.
for and with our bodies. Okay. Like
Right.
there have been some massive decisions that we have really come to conclusions. We've made these decisions based on intuition because let's face it, the truth isn't out there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's in here.
Your heart.
And
Right.
so to me, it's like, how do we ride some of these waves of the fear mongering, the
Mm.
scarcity bullshit, like,
Yeah.
and say, okay, wait a second. I can focus over there, or I can actually look at the new systems that are, wow, gold. We're actually going to count gold and maybe it's going to be reevaluated at $10,000 an ounce.
Yeah.
Why not create that world? Because right now, one thing I think we can all agree on is the metamorphosis we are all incubating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have to. I
Had
mean,
to.
again, AI. It's like, oh wait, you mean you got a wheel that turns? Like, no, I got to redo everything. Fuck. Like
Yes.
everything has to be rebuilt. Everything's gonna be smart. Everything's to talk to everything. The Internet of Things, iOS, right? Internet of Things, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, IoT. Yeah. So it's a point where you can't help but be caught in this limbo because what you have is absolutely obsolete. There's no question, right? And you don't have the future yet either. Right? So we're all in this, like,
Yes.
we all have to change. I mean, you said like that last bar call. It's like you don't have to go home, but you're not staying here. It's like,
You
you
can't,
know, right?
can't go home,
Uh,
but you can't stay here. No, and that's Gen X.
mm-hmm.
That's Gen X. We
But
have
Gen X
had,
we grew up talking about being better our whole lives, though. I mean, I remember schools, discussion groups, and stuff like that. We had discussions in high school about how to fix things. I think we're the only generation that did that.
yes,
I don't see another generation even concerned about solutions, inventing things. How you know how you fix that kind of thing? I don't see it. No offense, Y. No offense, Z. I just don't see it.
well, I believe that Y might not have had enough experience yet on the planet.
In
Like
past lives.
they're still parenting and they're still like in that learning stage of like adulting, if you will. Gen Z has been stunted because they
Mm,
lost 6 years of development in
mm,
COVID.
mm, mm, mm.
If you think about it, from January 2020, you look
Yeah.
at kids today,
Mm-hmm.
2026,
It's true. Yeah, they're very whole different. But I also think to myself, that's what God intended.
well,
Like
that's it. We all
they're
incarnated when we were supposed to.
They're going to inherit an AI world. They don't have to learn it.
But there's
You know,
52 million Gen Xers. We're the smallest of the
wow.
generations.
Because my parents were healthy at that point. They weren't necessarily popping out kids unless they had to. And,
But
right?
what's interesting is that we have had some of the greatest impact and lived through the greatest transitions of those impacts.
True.
We've created the impact, we've had to sustain it, we've had to shift it, we've had to grow it, and we've had to change it. And we're the new elders now.
Yeah. Well, we intelligently, not by looks. Or
Intelligently,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to we
Yes, we are.
have to be,
hmm And
right? It's
we're the intelligentsia too. I think we're not more intelligent, but we think about thinking.
yes. And we feel about feeling.
hmm
We feel, we lean into those.
We know our forefathers were Gen X. Do you know that?
Yes.
I mean, Lincoln, not Lincoln, excuse me. Washington was a Pluto Libran.
Yes.
He's the only Pluto Libran at the party. Everyone else were millennials, Pluto Scorpio, pretty much.
Hmm.
And then Benjamin Franklin was a baby boomer.
Yeah, he had Pluto and Virgo, right?
He had Pluto and Leo. I mean, so that's
Oh,
why
Pluto and Leo. He
he's a
was an
baby
old,
boomer. That's why he's
he's a
chasing after
boomer,
girls.
dude.
He's like Bill Clinton. He's like chasing after girls like at 96.
That's
You know,
right.
yeah. And getting in trouble with it for it too. Like in France and stuff, they're like, take him home. Like, get kicked out. Like, I don't care if he's
Yes.
your ambassador. Get out of here. Yeah, there's only one Pluto Libra, and it was Washington. I mean, but that's surprising. I think the rest of them were all, congressmen running the
Hmm.
states. They were running the
Hmm.
states. They're the
Yeah,
ones debating the Constitution. That's my point. The ones that debate the
yes.
Constitution were pretty much Gen Xers and Gen Ys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Gen Xer, I can tell you that I think that the greatest shift right now for Xers twofold. First thing is we realize that we are some of the smartest people in the room.
Yes.
And that is a new feeling for a lot of us.
Is it the feeling, or is it? I don't know. I've always known that, but
I,
now I feel like I can just go ahead and use that to my advantage.
yeah,
I didn't
see,
give myself permission before. I was fair to everybody, and now I'm like, I guess you just weren't born with it. So c'est la vie. Like I'm going to go ahead and just use it. I finally give myself permission to use it. Is what I'm saying.
I thought, Christopher, that there was a system behind it,
Mm.
all kind of like the matrix that was running that was more solid than it actually is.
Oh yeah.
So I think I had bought into it a little bit
Mm.
more.
Mm.
So for me, the letting go of that has been, I think, the greatest change in a good way for me because it's unleashed my creativity that I've never really played in the Matrix that much as a Gen Xer. We knew
Mm.
to an extent this is not going to be our world that we live in. We didn't know how we were going to change it yet, but we knew we weren't going to live in it. We went underground for our work. We went underground for our music.
Yep.
We went underground for sex. Like we
Yep.
went underground to learn anything and everything
Mm-hmm.
and get
True.
away from like our parents and get away. Now, if you look at like Gen Z, they're like with us in our cocoons, not
Mm.
always comfortable in terms of my
Mm.
metamorphosis and having like the generational eyes on us. But Gen Xers have taken on this role of saying, listen, I'm going to change who I'm going to be as an
Mm.
elder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to
Yeah.
look different.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the millennials behind us are watching with a degree of curiosity
Mm-hmm.
because they realize it hasn't worked out well for their boomer parents, just like we realize our
Mm.
older boomer parents hasn't worked out well. But we
Well, the
don't.
wires they came from past lives that had no boundaries, and so they're a little cautious before they take action. That's
Ah,
what it is. So they're like, "Can you get away? You can get away with that? Okay." Like they have to see us kind of. And part of the reason why we get away with it is because we have Pluto Libra, and we're like, because it's fair. Who's going to argue with that? It's
yes.
win-win. How can you argue with that? You know. So
Right.
we bring that deal you just can't refuse. You know,
I think that's the Aquarian age, though, also, and why we're probably the forefathers and the foremothers of that.
I agree.
Eh,
Yeah.
because we all get to be us
Hmm.
and we belong individually as the authentic one that we are in the many.
We
And
come from also. What's interesting about us, we have Chiron and Aries. So we have a wounded ego. We went too far once upon a time. We were the bad guys,
yeah,
which it means a lot. That's your wisdom right there.
you and I were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. Hmm. So
That's,
we're not going to overstep this time.
mhm,
All of us have that, bruise,
mhm,
which is interesting too. I think it's one of the reasons why we're kind of meant to lead, at this time.
mhm. The wound in the I am, I mean,
Mm,
ta- for instance, Tamara, you've had experience with indigenous medicine and
mm,
you're feathered blanketed by like the Ho Chunk Nation.
Yeah.
mm,
One of the things that you had shared with me, Tam, that blew me away was that medicine people got really sick physically. Like when I went through my awakening,
mm-hmm,
and you had said to me, no, no, this is like what happens to true medicine people. Like they have to solve their wound,
mm-hmm,
right? And so Tam, like when you taught me that, like you learned that somewhere. Can you speak to that? Like, and
Well, the elders, that's why they shared a lot of wisdom that had been, oppressed and, in their medicine lodges for so many years with us because they knew that they had to get it out. So many of them were dying of diabetes, alcoholism, all these elders and wisdom keepers for so many years.
mm,
But it was time because the Great Awakening's here. The time of the white buffalo calf woman is here. So they had to share the knowledge with, little white women that didn't have any reason to, to fear it or what have you. But they knew that the messages had to go on and it wasn't going to go on in their medicine lodges because their medicine lodges were empty, just like our churches are.
mm-hmm,
They were going through the same thing in their culture with not having with people being disconnected from spirit, so they
mm,
share the knowledge with us. So
mm,
it's but yeah, the elders knew that there was going to be a time where they were going to have to share the knowledge, and death coming to them was that time.
that's
mm,
great. Yeah, see, that's a crazy thing. How even the decay,
Right.
in the decay, the phoenix rises. Like in the decay is how we actually realize it is okay to decay and
mm-hmm,
ascend. Like
Right.
right.
that's it. That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm,
Like one of the things that I love, Christopher, about you as a teacher, and
mm,
this is the Sensei Chris now that I'm suspect of anybody, and this is kind of the schooled in New York part of me,
mm,
anybody who professes to have it all down
mm.
Right.
and that they like know it.
No,
That
it. Yeah.
right? Like to me,
Mm-hmm,
that's a little bit because I'm more interested in congruency,
mm-hmm.
not holding someone to a standard
Right.
that I don't even know what that's about, right? Like, oh, in
According to
order to
who?
be, say that,
According to who?
right? According to whom
Yeah, it's like
exactly?
let's God's in the room.
Right. And let's go. So the fact that I think that Gen X is one of the first generations to allow ourselves to have our wounds shown in a way that
Mm,
actually is like maybe all those Rocky movies that we were exposed to for all
mm,
those years did something to us. That somehow our wounds are actually what are it's part of our strength and our gift.
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to the shame, the embarrassment, the suppression,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the storytelling that
Mm-hmm.
people have around the wounds and the what happened and the rubbernecking that we do around that. What
Yeah.
if it's this acceptance of, yeah, this is the wound. And guess what? That's where the light comes through.
Hmm.
That's where the homo luminous, that's where the
Right.
beauty is.
Yeah, Chiron even, Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. The beauty
that's
is in
Gen
how we respond.
X.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so because we've done nothing but resolve, you know. I mean, most of us raised our parents. My mom came to me with sex problems. It was like, with her lovers, asking me questions. I'm like, as a kid, I was like, what the hell? I know grandma doesn't do this, you know, why would you think I have the answer? Like, you didn't even think through this, did you? But and at the same time, raising our baby brothers and sisters because our parents were off, whatever, dating still. I think so.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting. We just took it upon ourselves. We're responsible. We I think we're intelligent enough to know we have a lot of solutions and we can if we apply ourselves.
Yes.
We just need to have
Yeah.
that positive attitude. Yeah.
I watched a video the other day and it was a Gen Zer watching one of these like
Mm-hmm.
15-minute psychology of Gen X little
Mm-hmm.
shorts.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was watching it and he was a British young man,
Yeah.
probably about 25, 26, 27-ish. And he was thinking of his mom. And
Mm.
it was showing a child like, and it was all animated, similar to how Schoolhouse Rock was
Oh,
when we
cool.
were kids.
Mm.
And it shows like this child going home, it's a female child, latchkey kid,
Mm.
taking like cereal for herself, like
Mm.
doing her homework, like
Mm.
watching TV, and then showing that when the little siblings come in, the making the food, like just the shit that people assumed
Mm.
as children.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think that what we have done, Gen X, as parents to
Mm.
create these new humans, they actually know their passions
True.
and they might do something in the world or they're
Yeah.
living their passion in the world.
Well, they're held up by their passion too.
Oh,
Like,
that could be true too.
I mean, like I never considered I had to go to school. I had to.
Yeah.
Where my son will be like, I don't know, I should do. Should I turn down the fun thing? It's like, yes, of course you turn down the fun thing. Like you have no choice. It was a no-brainer. It's answered already for you when you said the sentence. But they actually consider it. I mean, the ones who were like, I loved like during COVID, we had a couple of that generation come in and work for us, and it was just like they're talking about just they were just making little complaints about how it was stressed and all this kind of stuff, and it's like this isn't even us in a rush hour. Like they were already worried about a bad working environment and toxic work environments before they got to work. And I was, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, it was just weird to me. I was like, but the fact that and I thought to myself, you know what? Because robots will do their work, their jobs.
Yes.
It kind of works perfectly the way God just sets it up. It's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about it because you don't have to. You're gonna have something else doing it for you.
Well,
Something
and
else.
that's the thing is that when you have somebody else doing that something for you, what is it that you're going to do with you?
Right. What's the plan? Yeah.
What's the plan? That's who I think we're in the process of creating now.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
mean,
dilemma or the plan? I think the
possibly,
dilemma's here. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's both.
Yeah. I see. I don't know. I'm changing my career, but it's due to data that came in that I didn't have before. That and also I'm surprised at how tired I am of the other stuff. It's like I don't see how a parent could do one whole career their whole life. How do you do that? To me, it's
No.
just so repetitious. So having done it for a few years, it's like I don't think I can do anything 21 years. So Gen Xers, I think, are in a strong position for that. They did the first job. Well, they probably have choice for the second job, so they find themselves, contemplating. Whereas my grandpa, my mom's dad, worked in a factory. Retired from that factory.
Yes. 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 And they just stayed and did The
Same
same
old.
thing. That's monotony for us.
Yeah, and life was once you got home.
Uh-huh.
Now life
And
is life. Yeah.
life is everywhere now.
Yeah.
And
That's the
if you even think about in the last 6 years, life can be on the other side of the globe, business wise, in
mm-hmm.
an instant
Yep.
with clients.
Yep.
Just there's so many restraints that I
Mm,
think have been lifted,
mm.
and yet we're still focused on where we don't have power. And I believe that, Jupiter moving into Leo,
Mm,
huh? I think that
mm,
we're going to find our roar, our inner roar, many of us, and you
mm-hmm.
can kind of see the people and feel the people that might start inappropriately roaring in the wrong places as they're projecting their
Mm,
roar onto others.
mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting thing because it's also going to be what lights you up and puts you at the sun
Yeah.
center of your universe.
Yeah.
So you're going to very easily see the people that are into their ego and the people that are into, hey, we all go when we all grow forward.
Mm,
The ego and the we go. I just
yeah.
think that that bifurcation is going to continue in a way that not unfortunate, just kind of necessary.
Mm-hmm. Reorganize. Yeah. Reorganize because things have changed ultimately. The things have
Yeah.
to be organized. Put in new places. It's interesting because I don't think the other group has any clue, nor will they. They're just going to keep living whatever we give them, so to speak, because that's the way it was for us. I mean, we've been told since the day we're born, you have this or you have this. Multiple choice, A, B, C, or D. Those are the
Mhm.
four right answers. There's no other right answers besides that. So we've been sort of like, but we're at a point now where we're like, wait a second, who made up those rules? I don't know if the other ones will ask that question.
They
They're just
might
going to keep
not.
playing.
They might
Just keep
not.
playing along. They seem to just keep playing along. They don't care. They have blind trust in it. You know, must be fine. I'm like the bummer of the party when I start pointing out stuff. Like because they can't. And they're like, oh, why do you have to talk about that? Did you see what I
Is that
said? You're being controlled by. Yeah.
is that a soul contract issue? Is that what they signed up for? I don't want to
Yeah.
judge it. I think it's
Well, yeah. I mean, we had one too. I mean, you think about what ours is. It's like we have a soul contract that we were, numb to. Let's say, you know, we were numb to like cheating. I think our generation, it sounds silly, but we were, um, because we have a lot of romance in our stuff. I mean, Pluto and Libra is about relationships, right? So we didn't know you could tell them to fuck off and still and stay married to them. We didn't know you know what I mean, like we didn't know you can all these things we didn't know. I think we were very naive. And I look at our generation, we're still on, we're still not hooked up. We're still on these dating apps, the ones that are, and we haven't replaced anything for our parents that got divorced. So it's
oh
like,
yeah.
so you could say that, we're dumb and blind there. My son's married and he's happy. That generation, relationships are an issue for him, but he'll just blindly go into, he'll just blindly eat that hot dog. He's like, son, what you put in your mouth, So it's interesting. I think it's generational. You have probably equal stupidity, but it's just not always, as in your face as some is,
Mhm.
you know, I think it's interesting though. I'll tell you, here's the thing. We all need each other going forward.
Yes.
Everyone has a job to play, you know, we're going to decide what's fair. Blue Librans. I think the Blue Librans or Gen X are going to be the ones that set up the new systems. And I think we already know what they are in our heads. And I think we've been waiting for the opportunity to do it. And I think
Mhm.
baby boomers have not retired like they're supposed to, And I also think we have this faction that's been always controlling everything. And, with the Schoolhouse Rock, our generation is actually pretty, classic, independence is first. We have a lot of, we're kind of constitutionalists this generation, I think.
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
personally, I I believe that that is the most exciting thing about this time is the
Mm-hmm.
revolution
Mm-hmm.
because it's global. It's
Mm-hmm.
global. And I think that the metamorphosis of humanity is everybody, and you're seeing it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And to reduce, some of this to politics is
Mm-hmm.
so belittling to the humans
Mm-hmm.
that are actually revolting and
Yeah.
experiencing.
Yeah.
And, I was listening to someone, and he's from Iran, his family
Mm.
fled, and people are starting to get weapons now in Iran so they can
Wow.
revolt, so they can
Mm.
revolt.
Mm-hmm.
And the time is growing, near.
Mm.
And for us to just reduce it to, oh, this is just a war about oil and it's just about money. It we really the difference now, I think, is that we're willing to look to people on the ground. The
Mm.
technology can afford us those opportunities to
Mm.
listen to people that are experiencing it there and then, as opposed to a reporter on a green screen,
Mm.
who knows where, wagging the dog yet again, who knows what. And the
Mm.
revolt around the world, I mean, you're watching even in Tibet, they had a Gen Z takeover essentially in Tibet,
Mm.
you
Wow.
know, like folks have had it, and Gen Zers and Yers, you're seeing in Central and South America, a lot of millennial
Hmm.
new presidents, male and female.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Costa Rica just elected a 38-year-old female conservative president,
Mm.
millennial. She's brilliant. She's
Mm.
very, very much very intrigued by what's happened in El Salvador, and she wants to take care of shutting down cartel and drug routes because a few years ago in Costa Rica, for the
Mm.
first time, they had tourists killed from drug-related activity.
Wow.
And yeah, this is the Pluto, in for them, that generation, they're what? Pluto and Scorpio, right?
Mm.
So they're dealing with those heavy issues,
Mm.
life and death and cartel. And I I
Mm.
I feel like some of these millennials are coming from out of nowhere
Mm.
and
Mm.
taking hold, like, I mean, of their country. Bukele of El Salvador took the number one murder capital of the world and
Hmm.
turned it completely around in 4 years.
Yeah, that's impressive.
What the fudge?
Was
He
it
did it
really?
in 4 years.
Hmm.
No,
Well,
it can't be done. It can't be done. And he stepped out of every system. And crypto was also like, there was a
yeah.
decentralization. And I think that that's the other beautiful opportunity now
Mm.
is the decentralization. Pluto, I know we're
Mm.
retrograde right now in Aquarius, Christopher, right?
Correct.
How
Correct.
far back will we go? Will we retrograde to three?
Yes. And it's funny, it's a belief in ourself, which is interesting because you see a lot of threes going on right now, actually. I mean, threes coming up a lot, let's just say, in we as planets will stall or whatever.
Yeah.
And the question of oneself and what you believe in oneself, and does your heart feel it's true? And therefore it is. So go for it, right? And I think that Pluto's gone as far as 5 in Aquarius. So
Yes.
we've already sort of sorted through raising the level of what our heart can consider. Step one, feelings, like raising the vibration of our feelings. Don't get stuck in the gutter. Tomorrow's another day. Little Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow, right? Pluto went to 3, which was I remember when Pluto went to 3 because it was like I disagree. I think is what I saw. It was like I disagree. So it's just paving the way. Pluto plays the way. Then 4, it's like, well, there's a whole nother world if you think that. And Pluto 5 is like, don't let your mind piss on it. So the point is like going back to 3, it's like, okay, do you not believe? Do you or do you not believe? And if you believe, well, then we're on a different page if you don't. And you know what's funny is that those people, when I approach people who are stuck, right, the others, they don't believe they can change it. They really don't
Yes.
believe it. They're like, you and your funny business kind of thing talking to me. I'm like, no, I've done it. I'll show you how to do it. You know, but the truth is they don't believe.
Yeah.
And they
Sometimes
have to,
the identity is caught up
Pluto
in
and
a,
Sag. Like my
yeah.
son, Pluto and Sag. So he comes from a generation where they're like, no, you believe this or you die. And so that generation is learning. They have the right to believe for the first time,
Yeah.
like in what they want to believe in,
Yeah.
including themselves.
Especially themselves, I think.
Yeah. But Mercury 3, yes. I mean, it's the mind will be set sort of a default. It's sort of the default position is what it's going to be. It's like, okay, well, take it up, see if it works. If it doesn't, well, let's go back to where you believe and try it again. You know what I mean? Kind of thing is what it's going to end up defaulting to. And it's mostly
Then,
theoretical. Yeah.
then don't we all kind of move forward into 4 degrees in like July? Isn't there some very unusual alignment with the outer?
I mean, I can't get off of Jupiter and Leo.
That's what I'm talking about. We have like Jupiter that I think Jupiter, maybe it's
I'll have to take the planets.
Neptune. I'm wondering, like, I think that we all are going to figure out something about where we belong. I think it's like we finish the retrograde from 3. It's like Pluto starts to, no, I don't know, Christopher. I think at the end
Well,
of July, I saw something about everybody moves forward to 4, and I was like, whoa, 4 is the door. Like,
yes.
people are going to walk through seeing something this summer
Right.
that they will never be able to unsee it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And four is, oh, hell no. You know, that's something four is. Oh, hell no. You know, like, you know, when you reach that moment where they're not taking one more step in that direction. You know, when a human being gets to that point. And I think that the population gets to that point. I was thinking to myself, what's that when aliens land, you know, kind of thing. But I think it's benign. It's going to be a lot more personal, you know. It'd be kind of like finding out, like, you know, they say it's a restaurant, but they really cook you. You know, it's like, oh, hell no. You know, like, you just realize at that point, I don't belong to any of this bullshit. Like, I think there's going to be an opting out where people just like, no, right? No to all of it. And my assumption has been that something is out of the bag that reveals, oh no, it's all corrupt. All of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think when I was growing up, it's like, oh, they've got some problems over here and they've got some problems over here. You didn't think the entire thing had disease.
That's right.
And I
I
kind of feel like that's
mean,
what the four is. Yeah.
that's the 4. I was thinking that we're all going to learn that every single tax dollar that's been spent has been misappropriated, has
All
been
right.
misused, and has illegally created this debt, right? A debt fiat economy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that we're all going to say, hell no, I don't belong with this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I am opting out of this
Yes.
system,
Right. Right.
this illusionary system,
Smoke and
because
mirrors.
that's really the place that, you know, I was having a conversation last week with Tom Parsons. He's been doing astrology for 45 years. And
Mm.
I adore his perspectives because we were talking about Saturn in Aries. And we were
Mm.
talking about how with Dr. King, right? And RFK, you know, the assassination, right? Like this truth,
Mm.
like that had to come out
Mm-hmm.
about what was really going on here, you know? And then in the 90s, you had everything from Monica Lewinsky, which I'm sorry, that was really big for people.
It
It
was.
took it took the office of the presidency to a place that I don't think we had experienced as Americans,
Never.
right?
And OJ Simpson trial took the courtroom to that level. You know, it's like first OJ, then his chase, and that was the first big courtroom case where everyone's watching OJ's
Yes.
case. And then after that, it was like, oh, court cases can be watchable. Cool. And then now it's like now the president's on trial. It's like really quickly it decayed.
It decayed, and I believe that what we're doing now is we're kind of coming back to this place of saying, wait a second, this decay, it's reached maximum like decay. Like this is shit now. This is like a compost pile, and now we're going to grow something out of this. And those that are pulling the energy out, because that's what this whole thing is the new currency is our attention.
Oh yes, our time. Yeah,
It's our
yeah,
attention.
yeah. I mean, I think our time and intention are the same thing. I mean, 10 is time and intention as far as I manifest.
Yes.
You know, 10 would be 0, intention would be the 1. I also feel that AI, kind of, how can AI get too much more intelligent without revealing it all? I mean, like, it's not that, intelligent. I mean, it's not that intelligent you put in the system. The system is not put in place very intelligently. It counted on people being at home in cornfields and not talking to each other for weeks, and to what the system is. But it's crazy that, to me, it's crazy. It's like, why are we borrowing money from a rich guy when we're a country? Why are we borrowing money from rich guys when we're a country? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you ever put a bunch of families be more poor, more powerful, have more resources than the country?
Mhm.
That alone is the premise that goes, what?
Mhm.
Scratches my head. And that was not what the forefathers saw.
No.
There's only one corporation. It was the tea company. I don't think they ever saw a corporation going to the levels that it has gone, with freedom and being treated like a citizen, and so there's a lot of weird stuff that has happened along the way that got us here. But we're in a total mess. You're right, and we don't have value. I think the cool thing is too, and this is what I count on Trump for, like him or not. But I'm dying to go in there and be like, you know what? Fuck you. We're not paying. Like, just I'm not paying. Sorry, I'm not paying. Take me to court. World Bank, come
Mhm.
get it from us. Come try to pry it out of my hands. It's gold. Like, we are power enough to go, no, we're not playing that game anymore. We could just do that,
Mhm.
or
I
not.
I think that one of the things we're going to do is we're going to look at what debt was actually illegally incurred
Oh yeah.
that
Where the money
we
went.
that we
Yeah.
never voted for, like wherever it went, invoke the 14th Amendment.
Mm,
Actually, with the new Fed chair that we have, let's go in and audit the Fed for the first
mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Let's be very clear that this is the third incarnation of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This has gone on for thousands of years in terms of usury. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's like understand how to bring it to a place that it is not powerful anymore. It's
Right.
just doing what it's supposed to do, which is jobs and inflation. And then you can actually put it under the treasury,
Yeah.
which is where it should belong.
Well,
So it can be audited.
in our bank. This should be in our banks too, by the way. Why are we depositing in the federal bank? I mean, the federal bank is not really federal.
It's not federal, it's a private
Yeah.
corporation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And these things are now no longer, I mean, people say this is a conspiracy theory. It's ridiculous. And we are recognizing, oh, wow. So if energy is freed now,
Mm.
which I'm sorry, but that's what's happening across the globe with oil right now. You have the UAE that just pulled out from OPEC. So now
Mm.
you have the limits of what you can pump a day completely removed.
Mm.
Okay. So you're actually going to have like a fair competition open market thing where barrels, we have a lot of oil coming out of Venezuela.
Mm.
We have a lot
Wow.
of oil in America.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we are going to see levels go back to the 1970s, which I don't even remember. I wasn't driving then to know what gas was. But I think that the shift between that, you no longer have a dollar that's tied to a fiat currency. You can tie
Mm-hmm.
it to gold, or what about stable coin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you want to actually have both working together, so you can't just remove one and then all of a sudden you end up in a commodities shit
Mm-hmm.
show with your currency again, which is what
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
this is the real story that's happening across the globe that I feel like the blue team, red team is the distraction.
Mm,
And we have to be rooting for anyone who's been living under a system
mm,
of significant oppression.
mm-hmm.
Iran being an example, Cuba being an example, Venezuela being an example. We could
Mm,
talk about across Africa, okay, throughout Africa. And I will say this, Xi Jinping, all of a
mm-hmm.
sudden, this is big. This is like when Gorbachev, and that happened the last time Saturn was Aries, okay?
Yeah,
There was no more nuclear threat. Like Gorbachev and the US were like, hey, you know what? We're not going to blow each other up.
yeah.
Like, we're not going to do this. I think China is going to say, we're going to open our markets. So all of a sudden, trade can become fair
Mm,
as opposed to, oh, we're going to have to cut China out because we're killing ourselves.
mm,
Manufacturing is coming back. The
mm,
I believe that these things, there are indicators, if we look globally as Americans,
mm-hmm.
to the metamorphosis across the globe, because China is smart. They realize they have a population problem right now,
Mm-hmm.
not enough people. Their real
Mm-hmm.
estate, their economy is
Yeah.
very tied to real estate. Real estate has been collapsing.
Mhm.
And now they just lost their source of cheap energy because there's no oil coming from Iran.
Wow.
And guess the UAE isn't going to play with them, right? So this is where, guess what? We've got to get along.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
yeah.
don't think this is going to be, oh, we're going to just like have the jets going overhead and start dropping the bombs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's not what this is leading to.
You think there's an aha moment?
I believe there are many aha moments, and I would say some of the diplomacy on the
Mhm.
world stage suggests, first of all, you had the King of England, which I'm sorry, I'm not a monarchist because I'd like for all people to be free, but nonetheless,
Mm,
I personally thought it was hilarious that on our 250th birthday,
mhm.
he came over and
I know.
celebrated like our birthday party,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yep.
in our house of, the renegades who split and divorced 250 years ago, like here he was, which I'm sorry, but that's also a message to the Central Bank of London.
Yes.
Guess what, guys? Hmm, maybe the monarchy shouldn't play with you guys. Maybe if you want to actually be on the side of freedom, I don't know. I have no clue what the hell's going to happen in London. I barely know what's going to happen here. So I thought that was a very big thing. And then I thought that when Trump went to Beijing and he had all of the economic leaders
Mm,
from across the globe with him that all
mhm.
conduct their, business in an open market.
Right.
Yeah, you guys want this?
Right.
This is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't have happened 4 years ago. We
What
wouldn't
would
have
that?
had,
What do you think would have happened? I'm curious.
I don't think that Xi Jinping would have had the pomp and circumstance
Right. Okay.
around us coming into his country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We
Right.
were their bitches 4 years ago,
It's true. Yeah.
offloading their child labor shit products that they were ripping us off from. I'm sorry. I'm just going to
It's
say
true.
it.
Made in China is a joke.
The
Yeah.
damn truth. And now you're going to like all of a sudden open up your doors and you're going to
Mm,
have the president of the United States and economic leaders.
mm,
Whatever you think about the Orange Man, the Oompa Loompa, the economic leaders behind him, that was what was interesting.
mm,
That
mm,
to me shows people are starting to realize, fuck, we're either going to all blow ourselves up or we're all going to actually grow forward and prosper.
Hmm.
I
I think
believe
Gen X.
that.
I think Gen X has that approach. I think we do. We think it's going to prosper. We see no way out. We still has a problem growing up, though. I mean, I think we were taught in schools, the problems, right? They're not taught that now.
Right. Right. But
Yeah.
but one of the things that Gen Y, Gen Z that I believe they value about Gen X, when I have clients come in and they'll be like, "Wow, Michele, you know, you're really telling me things that are concrete, not
Mhm. Right.
opinion,
Yep.
like,
I
okay,
know.
this is positive. Maybe
Right.
we're going to make it." And I think to
Mhm.
myself, oh my gosh, holy shit, these poor humans have thought
Yeah.
we've been teetering on the edge. Like they thought we wouldn't make it. That's
I,
a Gen X survival skill that we just keep on. We're going to fight for the right to party. Like no matter what.
yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Or- oh.
We have the right. Right. That song. Um, it's funny. We're very revolutionary.
Resilient.
Gen X is very what heart believes. It ought to be. It should be. We believe that it should be this way.
Yeah.
And we have that strength inherent. I think
Yeah.
in our hearts, it should be this way. Because if you see a better way, how can you unsee it?
Right.
It's like, well, someone's doing it for less money. So it's got to. How can I now go pay more? It's kind of we blame ourselves, for that stuff. It's interesting to see. I think personally, Trump's going to probably move on to the other side next year. It feels like it. I'm not wishing upon the man's death, but I do feel he's going to leave us. I feel that very strongly, and we're going to find ourselves in JD Vance's hands, who is a Gen Xer. Now, unfortunately, I think it has a bad beginning because I don't think he's going to do well. I think he's going to be extreme and not represent us well. But I do feel that once Trump's out of the way, right, for whatever reason, he's a paralyzing force. People are afraid. They're afraid to get things started. They're afraid of anything. They're just going to wait till he's gone. A lot of people. But it's like once that happens, then it's like I think Gen Xers gonna be like, okay, move out of the way. I'm just gonna fix this. I mean, I think we just don't even ask permission. We just go take over. Just put our hands on the wheel and fly, kind of thing. And so I think you'll see the Earth, stop at least stop descending. We're gonna level off the plane at first, I think, and I think we've been just dying to have the opportunity to do it, to fix it. We haven't been able to. No one would let us. That old regime,
Interesting.
said no.
No,
Yeah, we're happy the way it is.
completely. You
But
know,
there's
one
five.
of
Go ahead.
yeah, Trump, that's interesting what you say. Like, I don't wish anything like that on anyone.
Yeah.
I personally, yeah, wow. Just yet again, another crisis for like the nation and the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that JD Vance is technically an exennial. I think that he's a border X and
Like
millennial.
like David Palmer, he's like 1984 or something like
I
that.
think he's let's look at how old JD Vance is because Rubio is an
Hmm.
Xer, and I believe that Marco Rubio might very well be the next president of the United
You
States.
think so, huh? Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that out there.
Wow.
I think so. Because if you just look at the world stage, what he's done in this now moment, and maybe
Mm.
it's not a job that he really wants. Yeah, see, JD is 41. He was born in 84. He's a Leo,
Oh,
August 2nd, 1984.
84. I called it.
Yeah,
So,
84. I thought he was 84. Yeah, he's like an exennial. So he has tendencies of millennials more so than Gen Xers. And that's probably why he wouldn't necessarily be.
yeah, but I bet you, I don't know. I think he has the attitude of he can do it because he said so.
Mhm.
I don't think you get that with millennials. They're,
Right.
they don't ask permission and they don't want to point out that they haven't.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to get that? They just pretend like no one, I didn't hear what you
Yeah.
said. Yeah. Who's gonna empty out the refrigerator? Or who's gonna empty out the dishwasher? Millennial did not hear that. Like
Right,
kind of thing.
right.
It's like, well, who's gonna do it? Well, we won't go to bed until it's done,
We
kind of
won't
thing.
go to sleep. But that's right. No dishes in the sink. Like
Hmm.
yeah, no, we just keep on busting it. And some of
Hmm.
those boundaries that I think we needed to learn.
Yes. Well, and we don't know them. I mean, first of all, there's no separation in heaven. Everything's one. There's no
Mm-hmm.
intelligence that goes to heaven about separation. So,
Mm-hmm.
you can't. I learned this great lesson about separation and go back home where there isn't the word separation, right?
Right.
So it's like it
Right.
doesn't carry over generation to generation. We all kind of start from scratch, or we rely on where the culture understands it to be, and just build from there, right? Genghis Khan culture, rape anyone you want, like
Mm-hmm.
Genghis Khan. I mean, that was a different, right? Those are the boundaries. The millennials, Pluto and Scorpios, they have past lives where they're either the slave holders or they were the slaves, and
Mm-hmm.
so they're a little afraid to step out to see if anyone hurts them, kind of thing. Where Gen
Mm-hmm.
Xers, we understand what boundaries are. We don't like them. We try to talk our way out of it. Pluto and Libra are like, oh, well, how about $10? Like, don't make me do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, there has to be boundaries held and held individually. Like my grandparents, though, interesting. Pluto Cancer, like the World War II generation, Pluto Cancer. Now, what they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have is emotion or compassion. And so, and then they go to this war where it's like Jews are being systematically killed in factories. Like they're seeing the most atrocious things, having grown up on farms.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even take you could take a ship, like, the
Yeah.
Titanic. You certainly couldn't fly across the ocean, kind of them.
Yeah.
But their whole thing was like drawing boundaries around feelings and understanding where feelings need to stop. Like, grandpa, you got to get over it. Pluto in Cancer, draw a boundary or you'll get cancer. And they all died of cancer like crazy. Pluto and Cancers.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto and Leo's boundary with the heart. So I mean, every one of these generations has a boundary issue, right?
Yeah.
Pluto Scorpio is a boundary with boundaries in general.
Now remember, Pluto and Virgo, some Gen Xers were the high Pluto and Virgo
I
degrees.
agree.
As somebody with a Pluto and Virgo in the high 20s, like we
Gen
need
X.
the systems builders, right, to see where it collapsed
Yep.
to be able to rebuild for the new ones. And then, of course, to have the fairness. That's what I think like Gen X is here to
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, 100%. Way to figure it out ourselves. I mean, we started off this conversation with someone's been unfair to me. I'm drawing a line.
Uh-huh.
you know, and so I think until that lesson happens with the self, you know where the line is with the world. So to our, writing us a hall pass, we weren't ready for that fairness one until just recently.
Yes.
And I think part of it's because of Chiron and Aries. We had Chiron and Aries. We're all having our
That's
Chiron
what I was
returns.
just, yes.
And so, we were once the bully or
So,
something. We got blamed for it if we weren't the bully. Either way, we're reluctant to take that power. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to be called wrong or greedy or look like the one who ate all the food, like kind of thing. So it's a combination of kind of being wimpy because we weren't once robust and then not knowing quite what's fair either. You
Yeah.
know?
That Chiron and Aries thing, I mean, yeah, that's a big. I think that that has taken for Gen X, and I've never studied like Chiron and Aries generationally, so I have no clue about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for Gen X in particular, we've been willing to go there more publicly with our I am wound and try to
Mm-hmm.
show people this is the wound and this is the
Mm-hmm.
solution.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
experiential solution, because no one has been giving us the solutions. That's what millennials ask me for all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, how do I solve this?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so well aware of what the problem is, but how do I get out of this loop?
We'll get out of it, period. Like, well, I guess we just won't do it today. No, we have to do it.
Oh,
They
right.
just like, there's like, put it off to the next generation, like put it off to tomorrow. I'm amazed at how they'll do that. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
That's
Yeah.
the other side of it. But the metamorphosis opportunity that we have right now, I believe in
Mm,
2026, the year of the fire horse, it is guiding us really to put I mean fire and a horse together right? To
They're both dangerous
me,
on their own, right?
like each one on their own is unpredictable enough at
Yeah.
times. But when you combine it, and of course, there's been a lot of fires in the West, and you see like the horses and the running and the power behind it. And I think
Yeah.
that the power that we have had to find
Mm,
through some of the fire of
mm,
the Uranian energy, like literally still coming off of Uranus and Taurus, and
mm,
that 7 year transit, and
mm,
like what happens there in our financial systems. I
mm.
mean, let's remember the Great Reset was what everybody was just talking about 6 years ago. And in a 6 year period, we're now talking about a completely different parallel economy that is being built.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is, that's fucking fire. Pardon me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane
Hmm.
that in 6 years we've been able to. So, like, of course, you get more of what you focus on. So, I'm going to focus on what humans have accomplished.
Mm. That's good.
And I'm going to believe that our metamorphosis growing forward is actually proven by what
Mm.
we've accomplished.
Oh, interesting. We've accomplished a lot,
We've
really.
accomplished a
We
lot.
won't get credit for it, but we have, you know.
And this is like individually what I'll coach people with. It's
Mm.
like collectively what I think that we have to coach people with, because actually making people feel better helps them to do better.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's not, there's a time and a place, right? If you're going to convince people to pick up a heavy thing, maybe don't talk about throwing your back out, like that. And it's just style to it. We've accomplished, I feel like to me, it's what we can accomplish. I mean, I'm the yes, I can. Yes, we can kind of perspective of
Yes.
10X. It's like, y'all, this is not rocket science, and these are not rocket scientists. So push them aside and take over and just do it and fix it, and let's go to bed and talk about it. We have it all. We the whole time, everything you see built in the world was by the people. It wasn't
Yes.
by the government. It wasn't by the
Yes.
rich men. It was by the people.
Yes.
Don't forget that, guys.
That's right.
We can lead ourselves and
Yes.
decide for ourselves what we're going to do, and we
And
can.
some would say we have been the whole time, that the whole thing was a ruse.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a ruse. I mean, I said to somebody the other day, and so he's another Gen Xer, and he's actually a veteran, and he served, and
Mm,
he's a wounded veteran also that served,
mm,
and it was Marty, Tamara. It was Party Marty. And I
Okay.
said, Marty, I said, I remember when I went to vote for the first time, dude. And like, literally, I was 18. And I thought to
mm,
myself, whoa,
yeah.
how are we going to have a president who was the head of the CIA? Doesn't that sound like kind of like a weird thing that you would want to do?
A little sus. A little sus, yeah, that whole part
Isn't
is,
that like kind of sus out? Like, what? And I'm
yeah.
like not trying to punk like, you know, a bro or anybody, but I kind of smacked my friend Frank, and I was like, dude, like, do you not like see this? He's like, I hadn't looked at it like that, Michelle. Like that is kind of fluffed up. And I was like, dude, that's really weird. And I believe that every generation
Mm,
has those kind of, you can't unsee it. What that was the beginning of me seeing. And for me, I said, that's it. I want to be a purple person my whole life.
mm.
I don't want to be red or blue. I either want to be red, white, and blue, like one of those bomb pops that you used to get from the ice cream man on the 4th of July, or I just want to be purple.
Mm.
Because this is like bullshit. You're trying to put me into this box. And I'm
Interesting.
a spectrum. I'm a
Mm,
spectrum because I believe in civil rights, but I'm fiscally conservative. But you know what? I want everybody to live their life the way that they want to, but I'm not an anarchist.
right.
Right? I love the Constitution, but you know what? I also think that we can do better with certain people, and maybe we need to start all over again and have the next Continental Congress.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought about that too. Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't we talk about these things? And the fact that that's become taboo, it's up to a lot of us as the new elders, Gen Xers, to say, wow, can we just have this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the
Yeah.
baby news stuff when they have like
Mhm.
the little, it's this very sweet AI. They
Oh,
take like world leaders and they make them into like babies. And
wow.
they're having the world conversation like as babies. And it just becomes, I just personally believe that comedy, the infusion of that frequency, it helps to diffuse so much fear and it shifts things and it elevates things. So I bring up
I agree.
baby news.
Mm. Yeah.
Private tatami room the other night. We were celebrating
Mm.
somebody's graduation, and somebody goes, don't talk about politics. Like, wait, and starts like yelling. And I said, I was just talking about like the baby news. Like, it is hilarious. Like, no, we can't. And I was like, oh my God, this poor soul has been super brainwashed
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
was so wanting to do the right thing that she
Yes.
became militant.
That's right. That's exactly the thing. That's exactly it. Well, that's what I'm looking at with my conflicts in the last few days. It's like they're sure of themselves and they can't believe that I'm not. And I'm sure of myself and I can't believe, I can't believe we come to this weird circumstance where they are so sold on it. You can see there's not going to be changing anyone's minds, right? So
No.
what do you end up with?
I think that what you do is you say, okay, we have obviously gone in different, like, it's not even timelines, Christopher, it's
Yeah.
realities.
Oh yeah. And it's debatable. I mean,
It's
they are.
debatable.
Yeah. I mean, it's no. I mean, like the evidence they're pointing to. It's like, wait a second. That evidence is debatable. Is what I'm saying. It's like I don't know if that's the case. They're holding on to things.
Correct.
Right. They're holding on to evidence. It's like, okay, you do. I've used this example so many times, but you have a blood spatter expert in a courtroom, right? One from the defendant and one from the other. It's like they're both telling you that they're right and they're experts, and they're completely disagreeing about who killed who.
That's right.
And it's like you realize that's how our whole system is built. It's built on not what's the fact, what is the perceived fact that you agree with.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So we need a whole usurping of our premise. You know, we hold these truths to be self-evident. It wasn't we hold these facts to be self-evident. We hold these
Mhm.
truths. Was it truth? I mean, that's a whole philosophical question. I think we're gonna have to base our whole way of relating as humans on another fundament, and it's not going to be truth. I mean, it's going to be love.
I think it will be love. It'll be heart based. It'll be who do you vibe with? One of the things that my friends, so my dad's a pretty heart based dude, right?
Mm,
Good Spaniard, has a big
mm,
heart.
mm,
And legitimately, he used to say, you know who your friends are? Those are the people that you can call at 2 a.m. and you can
mm-hmm.
tell them the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, I'm on my way, or do you just need me to listen? They're never going to judge you, and they're
Mm-hmm.
always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anybody that you're not sure where they are, don't waste your fucking time on them.
Mm-hmm. Especially at this point.
At
I agree
this
with you.
point,
Yeah.
that is some of the best advice.
100%. And I'm gonna say it on my debut of my next show. It's not to plug myself, but it's the same thing. It's like we're out of time. That means where you would have waited the '90s and in the 2000s to figure it out, you don't have that time anymore. If you
Yeah.
get an opportunity, I've been telling all my clients, if you get an opportunity that's pretty damn good, do you think you need to meditate on? Just take it.
Yes.
Just take it because you're not going to get that opportunity again.
Yes.
And by the time you think, oh, I should have gotten it, it's been grabbed up and sold off. It's going to be and it's going to be limited supply of these things, these opportunities. Because we're done learning. Like you should have learned by now. So everyone's like, hey,
Yes.
should have learned. Here's final test. Let's do it. Because we're moving to a whole other, I think, world where this means nothing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we're going to find a lot of the stuff that we're like, certainly I know, but by the time history prevails and they see why David and I split this point, they'll be like, really? Over a cigar duel? It's so absurd. I think given where we're going to next, the next moment is so profoundly different than this one. that you just really need to go with what you've learned and get on, because it doesn't matter.
You can't take what you no longer need with you.
Yeah. And or
And
you learn. It had nothing to do with anything but learning.
that's it.
So if you
That's
learn,
it.
then lesson over. Yeah.
And traveling light.
I had people who were just, last year, there were a couple, they had no question they're a couple, they were going to be married for the rest of their life. This year, like, I don't know. They really are. And I predicted that would happen. But it's amazing to see how, yeah, we get along fine. I just don't know if it should go on. Right? That's the soul, I think, saying I've got another something to do. This lesson's over. This pattern's over. This, I've learned all I can learn from this moment.
Mm.
So I think we have that happening. So my point is, like, even with like Gen X, make the world change, it's going to change whether you like it or not. The old world is ending. There's no script left. There's no reruns to play. There's nothing. So you'll have to sit there and be someone who just wants to, put all your time and attention into recreating it, because God's not going to. And I think the new future is so compelling. It's you forget you were watching TV and eating potato chips. You're just like, I didn't appear at 4 a.m. with an empty bag of potato chips. You're just going to be so captivated, which I already am. I mean, AI captivates me. It's like, whoa,
Yes.
I mean, just with the stuff that I'm nerdy about,
Yes.
how I can be a super nerd in 30 seconds.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So it's my whole foundation is like, starts here. I know exactly how many hours, you'll see this in my next show. It's like coming out Sunday. It's like, I'm calculating the hours is every planet's in every step. So there are step trends, right? And this is something I'm coming out there. And the number 2 steps of this year, do you know what they are? Probably not, but can you guess? Interesting.
So do I have to guess from just, okay.
0 through 11.
Okay, 0 through 11. Okay, thank
what
you.
was the most invested in? We're looking at Mercury retrogrades. I calculated everything.
Calculated everything.
Yeah, because Pluto's was like in it for a long time, but Mercury only a short time. So we added it all up, right? And the outer planets did most of the work of certain numbers.
Okay.
So they kind of give
I would have guessed possibly that 2. Is 2 going to be one of the numbers?
No.
Okay.
It's 3.
3. Okay, my second guess was going to be 3. 5 I wouldn't have gotten.
3 and 5.
Okay. I would have said 3 and I would have guessed 4. No.
That's Sag and Gemini.
Gemini.
Yeah, it's Sag and Gemini, which means we spent more time this year contemplating what we believe in and what we think than we do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We're philosophically sitting back this year. And we spent more time on that, whether we're time with the boundaries, Pluto, or time with the heart, Sun, or time with our mind, Mercury. More time and space is spent on 3 and 5 than any other step. So, and last year the same. This is the second year in a row.
Believing what we. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you think that, how do you believe that?
And that we shouldn't believe everything that we think.
No, I mean, this is the thing with the step system. The thought is a child of the belief.
Right.
The thought is a grandchild of the belief. So it's like you believe something, and then your grandchildren are your thoughts. So because they derive from this as a conscious that builds. If you can only have a false belief. Let's go one more step back. So beliefs is where they hijacked this, right? They came in and said, "Oh no, nope, Yeshua died for your sins." Actually, they just told us all these things. We're like, what? At some point, the generation was like, "That's not how it went." I don't think, right? But the point is, like, in that moment, those beliefs weren't based on what the heart was feeling. 1 and 2, those beliefs were based on what the world was telling you. So you had this outer 3 come in that was never 1, 2 checked, right? That's how we got hijacked. Yeah. Therefore, everything you come up with in court, all the thoughts, everything you're yelling about on social media is all based on that false inserted 3, which was never data checked or base checked against the heart and feelings. And so that's what the system is corrupt right there, right? So really what the universe is doing this year is like going, it's 3 that's the big one, right? And what's funny is, where is 3? 3 is in the number of 2. It's in Cancer.
It's in Cancer.
So we're expanding our beliefs about how we feel. And one example is that is it possible that this is true, but you also may not be true because you feel like it's not? Is it possible your feelings are telling you the truth, which means your feelings are right with no evidence, and what you've been told is wrong? Is that possible? And Jupiter in Cancer is saying, yes, it is possible.
Yes, it is. The window's been open. Yeah.
Yes.
Can't close it. It's opened. Even
Maybe
if
my
just a
can't
little.
get past this feeling. Well, I just, and Trump's part of that too. I just can't get past this feeling. I hate him. People can't get past the feeling. It's like, well, that's not what they tell you. But I can't get past the feeling. They're owning their feelings more than what they're told.
Mhm.
That's the huge, profound thing. I think that I see really happening.
And
And they're admitting.
that's the silver lining in the
Mm,
shift. You know what it's like, yes, as crazy as it is that, I thought that baby news was like a great, funny thing to talk about. And the other person at the table is like, oh my God, this is horrible. You know
mm-hmm,
what? At least
mm-hmm,
there's a statement of belief that's out there now and wanting it to be better, right? And that was what I said to this person was, you know what I really love about what you're saying is I love that you want communication to be better about all of this.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's the greatest thing because that's why I was trying to even infuse the humor is because I want the
mm,
communication to be better, and
mm-hmm.
it was
Yeah.
just this belief that I didn't shift, like she didn't all of a sudden say, oh my God, I'm going to follow baby news, but at least it opened the window that it wasn't just a belief about politics, it was actually a belief about humor and infusing politics with humor so we don't all feel like we're coming unraveled when we
Mm-hmm,
have a difference of opinion with someone, where there
mm,
immediately has to be a victor and a victim and a
mm,
conqueror and someone who's oppressed. Like it's just this dualistic system is
mm.
so tiring and tiresome that that's what I think many of us are walking away from now and
Yes.
saying a spectrum is needed, a vertical spectrum, not this top down infrastructure that just
Mm.
collapses us to two teams.
Yeah, totally. And they have to be opposing teams too.
Right.
Mhm.
Team good, team bad,
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
win, team lose. Like,
They always make them opposites or whatever. It doesn't,
yes.
it's like, it doesn't have to be Jekyll and Hyde. It could be like, Peter Pan and Wendy. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a lot of things. But you're choosing Jekyll and
Yes.
Hyde. But the dual thing is also like opposites. And
It could
it
be
could be good,
peanut butter and jelly.
as I like to say, good or gooder. It could be good or gooder.
Yes.
Like it only be good choices. Yeah, we come down to that duality. I also think that was part of like graduating, 3D to 5D is, 3D, we call it 3D, but it's really based on duality, right? And 5D is really based on quantum, four, which is that you have the twos now have two sides of their own, right? So we had two choices. Well, sure, you have the Jekyll and Hyde, but you have the Jekyll, the Jekyll from, chemically, intoxicated the mother's womb when he was growing up, or, around an insane asylum, those two options, he went crazy. And, like they
Yes.
divide as it gets into more quantum. But there's something about the quantum too, when you have four choices that somehow you can pull a fifth choice out of thin air. There's something about that multidimensional, where's the door? And, in other words, sometimes the choice is none of the above.
That's exactly it. I think that the door becomes the fifth option itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the five comes in. It's literally that door. You
Well, I
know,
think the five has always been the observer. You hear me talk about that in my class. It's like the five was the observer. That's what Gemini is, the observer of the the two twos, right? When the observer
completely.
stops observing and just opens a door, like when you stop looking at
Yes.
it and you choose something, it's like suddenly a door appears,
Mm.
kind of thing. It's interesting, philosophy, but
You
um,
just the
yeah.
metamorphosis part of humanity for me,
Mm,
what I love about the step system and
mm,
in particular step astrology
mm,
for me has been kind of a saliency determination barometer
mm,
where when I have a barrage of like information that I feel like I'm responsible for, like this is my Gemini rising talking, right? This is my
mhm.
23 Mercury Gemini. Like I have a responsibility.
To
What
know.
it to know, because that's what an informed citizen and an informed person should do. Is some of that I've learned is ego, and it's like the dumbass and the smartass. And one of the most helpful things that step astrology has helped me to be
Mm,
able to filter in and out is what is most salient for me,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle. For the diamond, the star map for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand better that I should know myself, that I can then help others to know themselves, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to prior to the step system, where I was able to help everyone know themselves. And I really kind of perceived that to be who I was. It
Mm.
was what I did and not who I am. That
Huh.
was, and I had those confused, and the step system helped me to sort out as a light worker myself authentically from the role that I had been playing within the collective for so long that I thought was
Mm.
me. There's
Mm.
vestiges of me in that, but that is not at all me. I would call it my soul self, right? My
Mm.
hypnotherapist, my NLPer would say my soul self. My
Mm-hmm.
multidimensional soul self is who I actually can now access through understanding my star chart, my map, the
Mm-hmm.
diamond that I am meant to be.
Yeah.
That without that, I did not know that. And that's why I'm a step system pusher. It's why I want
Thank
everybody
you.
to know Christopher Witecki's step
Thank you.
system. And for anybody that tries to say
Micro.
that they know the step system and blah blah blah, if it's not coming from Christopher, like
Mm.
anybody that's listened, like I will say, oh, Christopher Witecki's step system. I will
Mm.
never, ever. It's like you give credit where credit is due.
Thank
And
you.
no, thank you for this,
Mm.
because I'm a numbers pusher now. At least it's not just financial, right? I used to push my women friends in particular to
Mm.
get into the numbers for like their financial. Now I can just push everybody to get into it. So get into your life to know the numbers and
Know
the
the numbers
degrees.
and what and what you're good at. I mean, it's experience. What you have experience with, because each
Yes.
number is a state of awareness. It's a state of being. It's a state of development. It's a state of incarnation, where it happens to be what state you happen to be in, or where you happen to be on that timeline. It's the timeline. And to know, where you where you are settles everything. Like that's what I'm
Yes.
amazed with. It's like, oh, and even with clients, it's like, I'm a zero with this. It's like, well, now you know what the problem was. Like it solves it resolutely. Like it's done. That all you have to do is practice this, and you'll be good. And lo and
Yes.
behold, it's true.
It's
Very
so manageable. It's like a
yes,
chunking, it's a saliency determination barometer for yourself that
yep.
you could not otherwise get to.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, it's like, yeah, okay, your body can be in alignment. And for me, thank God, like that's the easy part. I can help people to do that. I can help their head, but purposefully driven stuff. Like I now will ask like my coaching clients, may I
Mm-hmm.
see, your chart? And if you don't have it, like I'm gonna turn you on, I'm gonna tell you anyway, this is my teacher,
Oh,
of the step system. And then, I also have another teacher of just the general like astrology that Tom has done that's local on the ground.
mm-hmm.
And people are like, just soaking this in. And I think
Oh,
that
really?
that is what we are all incubating. I think in 2027, we are going to see, I mean, it'll be like a net 11, right, year.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I
great.
think that people are just going to be driven towards systems, like a very Virgo,
The real systems. I
yes,
mean,
the real ones.
I talk anciently in the sense that I think we had them in Atlantis. I
Hmm.
think the Tower of Babel and things like that is, the process in which they're all split apart, made different languages, thrown in different parts of the room so you could never put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And so I think these exist already. We're just realizing, oh, it's not this, it's this. We're just rediscovering, I think, these
Hmm.
systems.
Yeah,
But the step system is amazing.
it's
It's
amazing.
absolutely amazing. I mean, just can't. And as I get deeper into it, for instance, as I get deeper into it with this, our draconian chart. It's like the draconian chart is, based on moving the north node to 0 Aries, which is so symbolic. Okay. Turn ego down to 0. Ooh, right. Can't think about it like, well, how does that work? I thought to myself, who found this? You know, I did some, a little bit of research and told, you know, where we found it was popular. But the idea is like, you're going to subtract. It's almost like the North Node always started Aries, and it got this far away before you're born. Like it was able to run this far away from mama, this far away from daddy, you know, like, and so it's like, oh, they got away from us. This North Node got away from us, but we put it back where it belongs in step 0, and then suddenly it's who you are. But what's interesting is the step differential. Well, what's the difference between those two numbers? Because that's the component that's working between the two. And that's something that step system is brilliant on, that people don't even know, is that the orb is a step, right? And so when you know the orb step, you know what's controlling that relationship, right? It's like, if, let's say Jupiter and Saturn are next to each other, but there's a 3-degree difference. Well, they're arguing over belief is what's the problem. They're not on the same page of belief. Mm-hmm. Or if they're 5 degrees and they're disagreeing. But you know, right away, you know, in classic astrology, you know, Saturn, when people have this condition or temperamental, blah blah blah, argumentative, blah blah blah, you know, never do you hear they just need to get their mind on the same page. Solution, right? That's what amazes me. But I just keep seeing it permeate. I'm saying the soul chart and the draconian, you know, here's the latest. And I thought when I first started doing it, because I'm running a draconian every day with step numbers of the current day. So I run, you know, so it's like where we are and where are we actually creating? Because the present is the present. And so when did we send this again in the mail? Well, right now, because the North Node is in Pisces, you know, and we go to Aries, we're only a month ahead. So we're about 1 month ahead in our creating. Yes. But if you look at my chart, I was 9 months ahead. You know, right? Because the North Node was all the way to Capricorn, you know, by the time, you know, I was conceived. So it's like a huge difference. So I'm looking at and so differential is huge, right? And complicated is a big number that, you know, because you go, there's 30 degrees of every sign, but if you have many signs, 30, 40, 50, 60, you go just keep going up numbers to add up how many, you know, that subtraction is, and everything gets subtracted by that number. But that number can be a large number, and then, you know, is added, and still a large number is added again. And it takes maybe a couple additions to get to that boiling, you know, fundamental number, which means it's damn complicated in the soul.
Wow. Christopher, I can't even believe that I actually was able to keep up with what the hell you were talking about. I'm so proud of myself.
Thank you. You were there the whole time.
I was like, wow, I finally get it. And so the orb will be whatever the differential is. And then it's also a cumulative differential. So like, okay, because like my North Node is at 14 Aries. So my differential
14 and 5.
Isn't that, and it's, that's interesting. And so my draconic chart isn't that far off in many ways from my natal.
Your ego didn't get too far away from home.
Didn't get too far away from home.
That's what I'm realizing. It's like, oh, my ego got the hell out of there. It went to another country. It disguised itself. You know,
I thought it kind of left planet Earth to go that far out.
Yeah, I mean, Aquarius is the next sign, so yeah.
Right, you know, it like, almost did.
That's about it. I was climbing the mountain for the damn launch pad, and I got stopped at the border. You know, mine's 8 degrees Capricorn.
Oh,
you know,
that's fascinating.
And they are far away. You think about that. You know, Capricorn's like, Capricorn acts like they rule the whole fucking world. That's you going pretty far.
Wow.
Aquarius doesn't think they're of this world, and Pisces never came in the first place. You know, so it's like, right? So you're looking at like, oh, you know, how far away from reality you are.
How far away from reality?
Right? And you're pretty close to reality. Reality being the soul chart, being the actual reality.
Yes.
And you look at that soul chart too, draconian chart, and it's like, yeah, you know, and I'm amazed, like, because I have a Scorpio rising in that thing. What? But then I'm like, yes, my soul is playing chess. You know, I am playing chess. I know that inside. And there's a lot of chess playing. People don't know it. You know, I knew I would fall. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I know I'm going to happen. I know I'm going to fall, and I have to continue through it. I know I have to. You know, it's my role to fall, my role to be seen fall, my role to get back up on my feet after I fell, because people need that. They need to see that. And while I'm doing it, I'm like, I feel like I'm just like in an old, you know, marching band gig where I'm like, 1, 2, just counting through it. We get the flag at the right place at the right time, you know, whatever. I'm bored to hell with it, you know, kind of thing. but just going through the motion because I know that's my job. It's funny. Yeah.
Oh, I think of you as like Siddhartha.
Mm, okay. Tell
This
me.
this has been like,
Uh,
I
yeah.
wonder about just the completion of our Chiron
Yes.
cycles. I actually wonder if Gen X, because
Mm,
so many of us have Chiron in Aries with our wound there. I
yeah.
wonder if it takes us till almost our second Saturn return for it to resolve.
Well, yes. Well, I don't know. I'm not there yet, but I'll tell you, I don't think it's causing fires anymore. It's not setting fires. It stopped setting
Right, but
fires.
I'm talking about the resolution of it to where we've become
Oh, it's nothing
kind
there.
of
Yeah.
that draconic, that 5D.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Well, I
I,
think we're the first. Here's the irony. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I think we're the first generation that has option for ascension,
yes,
and we have
that's what
Chiron and
I
Aries.
was politely trying to say.
That's amazing. Well, don't be. Let's be Chiron and Aries about it. We do. We're the only ones. Damn it. But we
Yeah.
really are battling that key question of ego, which is the thing that got us in
Yes.
trouble in the first place, right? So it's interesting in that sense, and
But I
maybe very much
don't
so.
know if it got us into trouble because I feel like we were actually the motherfuckers that were like, no, don't follow me because I don't have it together yet. I
Yeah, I think we saw. I think we saw ego coming, and we're like, no, no, we don't want
get
this.
that's right.
It's bad. It's bad, bad, bad. Like,
Bad.
yeah.
Don't
And
say that.
because we didn't have a lot of ego, ouch, that hurt. Stop it.
Yes.
We got attacked easy and taken over
Yes.
easily. Because we didn't have a fighter in us, and we weren't pure ego,
Yes.
and so ego was foreign to us. That's
Yes.
where I'm getting into. Coming back to the circle. It's like I said to you. It's like no, I think you have to punch back. That's my latest theory. Like I should have punched in the first place because it's a thing of ego, and I didn't play it. I tried to go. I'm not playing the ego game. Ow! They hit me again. It's like no, you have to play it. You're on Earth, and it's like oh. So I'm realizing like oh
And you've also incarnated as a man.
yes,
Okay.
mostly in
And,
past lives.
and I feel like that's another part of this
Mm-hmm.
that you might have to hold that space. I also
Mm.
believe though at times punching somebody who's so limited might make the person that punched look like the bully.
Oh well, I'm speaking to I'm in an area where um I'm trying to figure out where my ego's what's a healthy ego.
Yes.
And I got punched and I refused like Gandhi to punch back. I refused. My whole life I refused to punch back. I thought that's not necessary. I'm above violence. Well, all I've gotten is bruises and hurt.
Maybe you just
And
have to truth back and not punch back. Sorry to interrupt you.
maybe, I don't know. I mean it's a rough, you think, oh, I mean, even now me saying it's like, oh, but I'm telling you, they don't respect you. You don't respect you.
Do you want their fucking respect?
Yeah, not to trespass, not to steal. Yes, I don't want you in my house. I don't want you in stealing my wife, David. Like I don't want you can't do that. And so how do I get the person who's penetrating, permeating the boundary, who's disrespecting what should just be left alone and autonomous for
Mhm.
me. They're taking, there are people who cross the line. Someone crosses the line. First of all, who's going to defend the line, and how are you going to defend it? You're going to get on the railroad track with Gandhi and be like, "Don't run over me," or because they're just going to be like, "Okay, we will."
Mm-hmm.
That's how it always is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I'm not saying again. These are Earth games. We have to
yeah.
remember that too. This has nothing to do with heaven.
Now,
We're perfect in heaven. We're here because heaven is boring. It's all perfect. You can do no wrong. You can do no sin.
yeah.
It's absolutely just brilliantly beautiful every step of the day. So honestly, maybe we're taking the whole punching another person a little too dramatically because it's just a game that ends, and it's not who we are. It's not who our truth. It's us going off into a strange, perverted direction because we're bored in heaven. Like, and we want to learn about ourselves. So, what's the big deal? He got punched. Maybe we're
Yeah.
making that too big of a deal.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's
And
where I'm
and
getting my Chiron wisdom.
yeah.
at the moment, come check back with me. But I do know that I have to say, I mean, every time I have not, come back, let's say, as powerfully, then there's be eye for an eye. Let's just say if I'm not coming back as powerfully, then it happens again.
Mm-hmm.
They
The
all demonstrate
power's in the response, right? The power's in the response. And I completely agree that
on the inside. I would support
that's
that too.
right. Is to
It's
turn
really
it. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because inside I said it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and I'm like, no, it's not fucking okay. That's
Oh,
what's
not
changed for me,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because I saw the big picture, I saw the whole rush. I could wash, my intelligence could just my Grand Trine and air could just be like, that's the way Earth happens, and now it's like no, which turns out to be a self love lesson, really.
Yes.
It's like
That to me is always the response that we talk about,
yeah,
on Heart and Light Living is it's you've got to love yourself. You've got to love yourself some more.
mm-hmm.
And I might even say in this whole summer, as things continue to heat up, you might
Mm.
need to throw a third heap of love into it
Oh, mm-hmm.
with
Yes.
the beliefs. Shift the belief. Love yourself some more, and then love yourself again.
Yeah, I think love ends up carrying up the whole chain. So it's like love yourself, love
Yes.
yourself more, but it's like love your feelings. Now love the things you do believe. Now love that you belong there. Now love that you're thinking that. Now love that you accepted it.
Yes.
It's like you just keep adding those components. I think.
Because
Yeah.
that's the only way that we ever come home to us is to love.
Yes. Well, and who we are as creator.
That's it.
That love is actually God's energy.
That's it.
And
That's it.
that word's such a bad word in places. To this day, it's like I love you. Oh, it's a little soon. Like you're dating whatever. Like date someone and like I love you, and they're like they step back. It's like I didn't ask you to marry me. I say I
Mm-hmm.
love you. And that's one thing that's different about me. I'll just pat myself on the back on. I always say I always tell my audience I love them, always, every day.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
was like I knew how foreign it was. I knew how provocative it was to say. But I
Yes.
I meant it. People said, but I've had people go, I felt you meant it.
Yes.
I'm like, because I did. So I don't think you can
Yes.
fake something like that.
No,
There's
you can't.
so much power in love, really.
Really is.
So much power, and we just have
I
barely touched the surface of it. Yeah.
and I've learned to say it to myself. Like I
Oh
love
yeah,
you and I love me.
yeah. I love me. Yeah.
That is a really important shift.
Hmm.
And I think that these are things that are driving this metamorphosis,
Yes.
you know, forward because we can look at it all that, oh God, this has just been like the snow globe has been shook up and I don't know up from down and I don't know what direction I'm going in, what's happening next, what isn't happening. And guess what? You know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be if you are actually within you. And that's where the change, the response, the metamorphosis, the love, the light, it's where it's all coming from.
It's true.
At the end of the day, right? The line to heaven is single file, like in and out. And so there's no more shame in that. Like, oh, I have to do this for me. And I think that's why God Universe Service Provider is separating us from people, places, spaces that will not allow
Mm,
that range
right.
of love with
Right.
them in community, with us within ourselves, and then the all together now kind of thing. Because it's non
Right.
negotiable. More love.
You love
Más
yourself
amor.
more. Yeah. You love yourself more. Loving others is not even a problem ever.
That's right.
It's
That's
never a
right.
problem. The only reason why it's a problem is because you didn't get yours.
That's right.
And the reason why, and I've been accused of being, when I'm accused of being a bad guy, I know damn well that one, I used to fill that well for you. I've stopped, so I was a love giver. So people just like, oh, they replenish off of me. They have to love themselves, right? But I also know
Yes.
that, you know, they're hating me because they're really hating themselves. They haven't loved themselves. They're mad that you're acting like they are. You're not
Mm-hmm.
loving them just like they're not loving them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't want to be reminded of that. They don't want to be
That's
reminded.
right.
I don't be reminded that I don't love myself. So get the fuck out,
Yes.
you bastard. Um,
Yes.
but I think what's most captivating for people to remember as you go through the summer, everything that happens to you is a reflection of what you're doing inside yourself privately that no one sees. It's a story nobody sees. That's what's happening in the world.
Completely.
Hmm. That part of us where we're like, we liked it, but we didn't admit it. That part of you, that won't tell a soul. Only God for God's ears and lips. That part of you, that's what reality is about. That's what everything is being based on. That private
Yes.
relationship you have with yourself.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And pay
oof.
attention to that, and you've got the present.
And
You know.
we have to get that in order because in order for us to further move into the age of Aquarius, the authentic self will have to be kind of in place for us to go forward.
It feels so good.
Thank heavens.
It feels so good. I'm so tired of it. No, I'm so tired of me not being able to go with me.
I know.
I
I
thought I
know.
had to not go with me.
I
I
know.
thought I had to. I thought I had to take one for the team. I thought I
I
had to.
know. I know.
It's like layer upon layer of belief structure. It's like, oh, well, then that means, and then that means, that, oh my God, that means, walls start falling
Yes.
down. So it's not an overnight thing per se.
Right.
You start walking that direction and you start to see, oh shit, things change. But once you get to feel that, I'll tell you this, it's like, I'm never going back.
That's right. That's the whole thing is you never want to go back. I literally now, Christopher,
Mm.
at the end of the day, I will like obviously I give thanks for it all, but I also give thanks for how good it feels to be me as
Uh,
I'm drifting off to sleep. And I
mm,
try to kind of enter into the day with that, which is, and I just like mush kind of into the pillow and I'm just like, oh, it just feels so good to be me. I just want to give myself that love, that suggestion,
mm,
and that belief.
mm-hmm,
And I really, for the first time, am so conscious and cognizant of feeling it. This
mm-hmm,
is where the change happens, right? The response to ourselves within ourselves.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And so, my friend, you are an example, a leader in metamorphosizing oneself in front of the world for
mm,
everyone to see. And I just a deep bow to
mm,
you for walking with us and through that and getting to the you that you're supposed to be because the world needs you. There's only
mm,
one Christopher Witecki, the guardian, the founder of the STEP system. And we are
mm,
so humbled and honored to have shared this time
mm.
and space with you, my friend. And
Thank
for
you.
all of our listeners, Christopher, how can we get to you?
Good question. It is senseichris.now. It's all
Great.
going to be dot .now. Powers in the now. Senseichris.now takes you right to my stuff. And I have Sensei Chris Now as a show coming out. It's its own show once a
Yes.
week. And we have Step Astrology Now. Everything's
Yes.
going to be now, dot .now. It's just brilliant how it came that way. But and cheaper domains too, by the way. So it's
All
like, oh,
now, all the
yeah,
time.
it's all about now. But yeah, senseichris.now, you'll be always guided. And, products are rolling out in different phases, like so that you can choose things. But ultimately, it's a daily daily pep talk on video, which is almost in its perfection now. It's like a TV show. It's pretty. It's got little jokes in it. It's got comedy. It's got little animated things. But then also I'm doing workshops on Sundays. They're going to start
Yeah.
where twice a month you can work on this and practice this. Like how do you get
Yes.
to practice this stuff? You can't just talk about it. You got to practice it. So some of that happening. Mystical calendar is about to reinvent itself. So basically giving you tools to just kind of know who you are and step in your power now, kind of thing.
Yes.
That's what
Step
it's about.
astrology
Mm.
yeah, the power is all in now. It's all now all the time.
Yes.
Once folks learn it, you will wonder how you ever functioned without knowing it
Oh,
before.
yeah. And
I
know what
it's
time it is. Yeah.
it's incredible. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
No, thank you so much. And sweet listeners, thank you. This has been a long, deep dive. We are
Mm.
all in our metamorphosis. We are all shifting, changing. Most importantly, our light is growing. Our hearts are open. We're continuing to respond with love, with care to ourselves, to others. But most importantly, y'all, most importantly, forward we grow by coming home to you. Thanks for being with us.